Hello, everybody. This is the John Ross Show, and we're going to be talking about more memories today. We're in the picture in the back is Kev, and it's the Saint Michael, the Archangel, watching over and guarding Ukraine. So we're going to talk more about praying for Ukraine. We're going to talk about memories, and it's 67 degrees out here at 5 p.m. And wow, 67 degrees here in Batavia, Illinois. So we're going to be talking more about Ukraine. We're going to just talk a few moments about a funeral that I went to for a lovely individual that passed away, Marge Logman, 76. And Marge Logman, in her funeral, had a request that was brought up to Batavia's Mayor Jeff Schuelke. Now, it's a picture of Marge. Here's Mayor Jeff. Mayor Jeff had known Marge for almost all her life, and he had lived right beside her, I guess, in an apartment or a house. I didn't quite catch that, but they were real close neighbors, and even had a picture of Jeff on a tricycle with Marge. They were showing. Well, Marge had one request for her funeral was to tell a story that not Pastor, but Mayor Jeff can tell real well. Mayor Jeff has been, excuse me, Mayor Jeff has been mayor of the city of Batavia, for 44 years, since 1981. He's up for re-election here, and I'm endorsing him, if that's what you want to say. He's been a good friend, and he's just done well for Batavia. He's got an opponent named Thomas Conley. I never heard of him. I just got a absentee ballot here and just noticed that was the name. Not much out there about the gentleman. It's a little in the paper here. That was about it. Well, anyway, Mayor Jeff is a great man, and he knows his history. And he knew this history story of Bert Johnson was a downtown druggist on Batavia Avenue. That's Marge's father, Bert Johnson. And Mr. Johnson had been in World War II. I assume this is in the Navy he was, but he was out on a patrol to pick up a PT boat. Survivors, I think they said the Solomon Islands. I'm not sure. I think that's what it was. They went up to pick up John F. Kennedy on the island. So Marge's father picked up John F. Kennedy, and that's what the mayor talked about. Then in 1960, during the campaign for president, Senator Kennedy came through Batavia. And I guess there'd been an article, I forgot how that was. There was a news article that they want to get before some news article was in, I believe it was Newsweek, that they wanted to show Kennedy. And so they went to the local library. My friend Miriam Johnson, she didn't have the Newsweek yet, and there was another store. They thought about, why don't we go down to the drugstore? So after Kennedy's speech, just before they're going down to Aurora, and it was, I guess, going to be raining, and they were going to put up the convertible top, they stopped in Johnson's drugstore, and Mr. Johnson met John Kennedy again. I guess he asked him, "Do you remember me?" And he told him the story. And the interesting part of the story was that after, I believe, Kennedy was president, he sent a letter back to Bert Johnson and thanking him and etc. And Marge had this letter from John Kennedy to Bert Johnson. I thought that was very interesting. It's at the Batavia Historical Society. Mayor Schelke said. Mayor Schelke is a Batavia historian, and he knows a lot about other cities in the Fox Valley too. He's just a great individual resource for the community. So that election for the mayor in other cities in Aurora too, there's mayoral election between Richard Irvin and John Lash. That's on the elections here in Illinois, and that will be April 1st. So that's when those dates are coming. So that was an interesting funeral, and it was a lot of nice memories there, and about Marge and her work and how the Lord is with her and her family. So I thank the mayor for that and the time with Marge's family there. So then I think I told you about the basketball memories I had last Friday. That was really nice too, of local basketball. And now we want to remember Ukraine again and just keep praying for that. Found out that Mr. Trump is selling out Ukraine right and left. Tells Ukraine they got to do everything in Russia. What do they have to do? Nothing. Just keep bombing, I guess. Not a good way to handle peace. And I think Mr. Trump's going to be remembered not in a good way for this. So just we got to remember Ukraine. And we just got to keep fighting here on these fronts. And if you want to help Ukraine, here's a link to help out Ukraine. It's right in the country. It's legit website to help Ukraine. Now another thing, and we're still fighting on refugees. We've talked about this. Still another day of refugee fighting. We're trying to help them out. Just remember, Jesus said, I was a stranger and you welcome me. So that's what we're working on, refugees. And the group that's really good on that is World Relief. And just remember them in Chicagoland. So what we're doing is trying to show the teachings of Jesus and Trump 2.0. Some say we just have the church in the church. No, Christianity is in the community. And I was just thinking upcoming, I think it's April 9th, the Episcopal Church and some other churches celebrate the death of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who stood up against the Nazis. A Christian man who stood up against the Nazis and wrote a book that many people have read called Cost of Discipleship. And he was a good man, and that's what we got to keep. We got to keep Jesus in the forefront, and got to be salt and light. Today I heard an individual say, well, we just, at my Bible study, I just don't listen to the news, blah, blah, blah. And I go, that's interesting. Karl Barth said, theologian said, they have the newspaper in one hand and the Bible in the other. We got to do both. We got to be involved in our community. And with God, we're not overwhelmed. See, I think some people would say we're going to get overwhelmed. No, if God is our source, we won't be overwhelmed. We might be perplexed, we might have doubts, but God is with us. So we're just going to have God with us and be salt and light to our communities. And see what else I was thinking about. Well, that's basically what I was thinking about today, but we're just happy to have this little time with you, and we're going to keep working on the show here, and hopefully going to bring back some guests. I did have a few weeks ago, we did have a guest and talking about environment and Christianity and how they relate together and racial matters. It's an interesting topic. So, well, till we meet again, we'll be back on Wednesday. And so we'll hang in there. You hang in there. We got God on our side. And so we're going to hang in there. So till we meet again, I'm going to say right now, bye-bye. Till we meet again, bye-bye. God bless you folks out there. Have a good rest of the evening. And we'll see you then on Wednesday. Bye-bye now.